warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening, and I'm Aini, your moderator for the day. So welcome to our show, where we usually discussing about hot topics for the day. And the topic for today is, are schools challenging for students with, are schools challenging for autistic children? Okay, so we have a very special guest for today. So we have Dr. Kasdina, a child psychologist from Dean Psychology Center in Selangor. Welcome, doctor. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you for having me today.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming. And then we have teacher Arisa from Malaysia's Teachers Association. Welcome, teacher.
Thank you for inviting us.
You're welcome. And then we have Madam Farhana, which is the only woman chairman from the page, which stands for Parent Action Group for Education in Malaysia. Give a big clap. Welcome, madam. So we're starting our topic for today with Dr. Kasdina's explanation on what is actually autism is. I mean, like, we all know the terms for autism, but we don't know what it actually is. So, Dr. Kasdina?
That is a very brilliant question, actually, because nowadays people know of autism, but they actually don't know what it actually is. Autism is defined as a complex neurobehavioral condition that has an impairment of social interaction, communication skills, and developmental in language that combine with rigid and repetitive behaviors. It is under ASD, which is the short form of Autistic Spectrum Disorder. They have a lot of types, that is Asperger's syndrome, pervasive developmental disorder, childhood disintegrative disorder, and as we know is autistic disorder. ASD is a range in severity they are provided range in severity that has a limit requirement, makes people around them have a problematic that usually people with normal life have a devastating and disability of requirement for institutional care.
Okay, so Doctor, thank you for enlightening me on what autism is. But Doctor, in your opinion, can an autistic child be in a normal school with other normal students in the same classroom?
That is a very interesting question. It's quite problematic for autistic children to go to normal school, actually, because they have certain symptoms, which is, for example, is they have trouble in communicating. They don't quite understand of what other people think and feel about you. And they also are ASD children specifically, are very sensitive to sensor of, for example, sights, smell, touch, and this is quite a problematic matter. The second is they have repetitive and stereotype body movement. For example, rocking back and forth, pacing around, and hand flapping around. This makes people around them very questioning of their behavior, and they don't like it. Some people tease, mock, and insult them, and this will be an unsafe environment for the ASD children. The third is cognitively impaired. They have an uneven skill of developing their studies. This shows that some ASD children have limited interest in certain subjects, and this will make other students, this will make them to not contribute much in their assignment. For example, if there is any group assignment, they could contribute much.
Thank you, Doctor. That's a very convincing answer.
I'm sorry, Dr. Kasina, but I just want to say that I really agree with your statement. This is because, the autistic children is very different with the other kids. This is because their behavior and the way their movement is very different from the other kids. And when this is happening, like Dr. Kasina said, they are being bullied, right? Bullied is not just because they are just beat them. They are just like mocking and teasing. And when this is happen, when they get home and, for example, like their mom the kid, what is happened to you? Why there are so many bruises at your body? And they will tell like they just cannot answer it because they have problem with the social skills and also have problem their lack of the verbal to stand up for themselves. That's why when someone asks them, they just like shut up, just keep it to themselves only. And the autistic children also have the problem with the problem that called as the sensory challenges. Sensory challenges is the difficulties in managing information that comes in through the in through the senses. For example, like they have problem with their language. They will have problem like when it's not. It's like when they are speaking, it's not so clear, you know, like not, and also inability to interact with people and the object, and inability to stay within an interaction, and also they have strong sensory interest. So it actually can be very exhausting for them to spend a day in a school with the. It actually can be very exhausting for them to spend a day in a very loud, bright, and also crowded places like school. So the places, for example, the places that they have problem is coping with the PE class, the PE class, and also reacting to the school bell. You know the school bell when it is ringing is very loud. Yes, right. So it can be too much for them. And again, doctor, I want to agree with your statement that you said just now when they are not have problem in contribute in the group assignment, they will do their own works like flipping their hands and rocking back and forth. So this can make the people around them will feel uncomfortable. And lastly from me, I want to say that we, the teachers from the Malaysian Teachers Association, had a meeting and we agreed that there's too much pressure for the teachers, especially, who are not specially trained to deal with these kids. Just imagine, what if when there's an accident happen involving these special kids, these autistic children, for example, like they are falling down or they are beating themselves, hurting hurting their friends. So who do you think that the parents will blame? It must be the teacher. It must be the teacher. So I think that's all from me.
So thank you, teacher. I think like it's good to hear from a teacher's perspective about this kind of disorder. So, madam, you have been very quiet since just now. What do you think about this matter? What's your own opinion from the parents' perspective?
Okay, thank you, Amy. Just now, I have listened to doctor and teacher opinions. However, in parents' perspective, we think that autistic kids are supposed to be treated as normal kids, so that they don't feel any less competent or humiliated in front of people. Because some of the people will not know if they're treating them as abnormal, it will hamper their confidence and they will try to keep distance from others. So that's why parents think that normal schools are suitable for autistic kids because they will have a wider possibility to explore new things and build their skills that they will use for a lifetime. Which is in specialized school, there are fewer chances like this for them, and if there's any, it's only built for anticipated interests and needs of the autistic students, like computer gaming, for example. So in normal schools, they can develop their confidence and pursue these skills. And I know that it may take time for them, but they can. Because some of the autistic kids are actually talented and gifted in a particular field. So that's the reason why parents choose to send their kids to normal school. Because they think that community involvement in community experiences allow the special kids to challenge themselves and exceed expectations.
But madam, the teachers has mentioned about bullying. So what happens actually when the autistic children is being bullied? Who is going to responsible for that? At school.
Okay, so in this case, I think teachers should be aware of the special needs and students' background so that they can prevent the incidents. And plus, the other students who are aware of this autism, they actually take care and helping their special friend.
Actually, madam, I just want to say that in a class, we have about 20 to 40 students. So we as a teacher not just only focus on the special kids because we still have classes and we still have other children to give our attention. So I think you should consider in both sides, which is from the autistic children and also from the normal students.
Also, madam, I would like to agree to disagree with you, as because through my experiment I have studied it, and there are two theories that were mentioned that was related to autism, of course, in childhood of development, and one of them is Eric Erikson, that is social development, and the other is John Piaget, cognitive development. In Eric Erikson had theorized, as we know, Erikson has formally mainly talked about the social of what they have in certain stages of, in that stages of what they have, like trust versus mistrust, like that. And as ASD children have problem in regarding of that stages, and because of they have problem in that, they suffer from that. Other than that, in John Piaget theory, that is cognitive development, I mainly will focus on the 4 stages. That is the first, that is sensory motor. From the early age of 2 years, they have the sensory of feeling around, and this makes autistic children around them have problem in feeling of what they think or they see and think about it. The second stage is pre-operational stage, that is birth from 2 years to the age of 7 years old. In these pre-operational stages, they develop a concrete way of thinking, but they are struggled in logical thinking. They can't understand logically why they are like that, why certain objects are like that. The third stage is concrete operational stages. This is where they matured from the immature thinking of not thinking logically to thinking logically. But although they think logically, they still think in concrete ways. And the last stages is format operational stage, that is from 11 years to adolescence to adulthood. This stage, they can think in abstract terms. They have matured fully in their thinking. And because of these stages, our ASD children are lack of these stages. And because of that, they need help. They need care from a very specialized teacher. So it will be advised that they will be schooled in special school that have teachers specialized in teaching them. So, and you also need to reconsider that what is the pressure of teachers of how they will face the autistic children. You also need to reconsider the other students. We may know bullying is one of it, but it is true that it's more problematic of autistic students to learn in normal schools.
So thank you, doctor. I saw that the teacher is smiling during your explanation, and I've never heard about those stories before. What is it about? John Piaget
and Eric Erikson.
Oh, yes. Okay. So, madam, actually, after hearing this explanation and perspective from the teachers and the doctors, what do you think about this? Do you have any different change of opinion?
So after listening to both sides, it's actually opened my eyes that there's maybe something that I miss out, and I think that I will take this matter into consideration.
So I think that we have a conclusion where our topics is heading to. I mean, like, so schools are indeed challenging for autistic children. So before we ending our show for the day, our session, I would like to open a Q&A session from the audience. Do you have any one or two questions? The doctors here are, waiting for the questions. Yes?
What are parents supposed to consider before
Miss, speak louder, please.
what are the parents supposed to consider before sending their autistic child to the school? What are the things?
To normal school.
Yeah.
So what parents should take into consideration to send their children to normal school?
I will answer that. Parents should consider the environment of what they stay. Parents should go to the school itself. If the normal school is safe for them, they can literally just send their children to go there without knowing what the environment is safe there. Because for autistic children, they need a very proper care, so they won't prevent any from like mishap happening, for tantrums happening, and that will be a very much a prevention from that. So parents needs to go to each school to understand, to know people there, so they will prevent that from happening. That's all.
Another question for the teacher. Can you actually send your autistic children to normal school? Because as I know that it's not possible for autistic children to mingle with normal children. So can you actually send them to normal school?
Thanks for the question. For me, I think it is no for me because like I said just now, it can be bullies, and it can they can throw their tantrums, and it can make some of people surrounded feel burden. Yes, feel burden and also feel uncomfortable with their attitude.
So then why parents are still sending autistic children to school?
Okay.
No, not you.
Oh.
teachers.
Okay.
Right? Because you say no just now, right? But currently there are still parents who send their autistic children to schools. Why teachers accept them when you say it's no?
Okay, thanks for that question. For me, I think parents should, consider about this, because we are not accepting. It's not that we are not accepting them, but this is from. Yes, parents should consider about both sides. Like I said just now, the autism and the normal kids. The reasons why parents do still send their kids to normal school, because they want them to feel like they have normal life. That's why the parents still sends them to the normal school. I think that's all.
Okay, I think that's all for our show today. Thank you very much for coming here.